Hey, Kate, what did you eat last night?
I made meatloaf, which is weird because I don't really like meatloaf very much, and I've never made it before.
Weird.
I know, but I was having a sort of nostalgic moment, and I don't remember how it came up, but I thought, I'm going to make the meatloaf. It's one of those recipes that my parents used to make when I was a little kid. There aren't a whole lot of those, but there's a few family recipes that we used to make a lot, and then I had a lot in my childhood, and this was one of them, and it was all right. I mean, I think I just don't really like meatloaf very much is the thing. There's a few things I would do differently if I made it again, but frankly, I don't know that I actually need to make it again. So our meatloaf, you use Hunt's tomato sauce on top, so it tasted like my childhood. It was good. And then you have to serve it with Le Sueur baby peas, which are canned peas, which...
Really?
Yeah, whoever uses canned peas. And then instead of baked mashed potatoes, you have a baked potato. So that is the actual dish that as it must be served.
It seems very strict.
Oh, it is. It's very strict. Well, I wanted to recreate the thing that my parents used to make.
Okay.
And that was the thing. And I did it.
But it's not Faro that's particularly strict.
What?
No, it's not Faro that's particularly strict.
Faro?
Just the recipe you were trying to file. Yeah.
This was meatloaf. Nothing to do with
Oh,
Faro.
meatloaf. I'm sorry. Oh, hi.
Yeah, no Faro involved. Meatloaf, peas, potato. All right, what did you have?
Oh, it wasn't great, Kate. I really didn't have anything to make, so I thought, oh, Rick, just go out to the store and buy something. So I drove to Mom's, which is my organic market, and I really had a clear idea what I was going to get, but I just wound up wandering the aisles because they had so many samples out. So I basically sampled my way through the store the entire night. I got some cranberry cheese, which is just like a cheddar cheese with cranberry in it. That was really good. Then at the end of that line, they just had like pieces of bread out with different types of butter and jams that you could spread on. So I did one of those or two of those. And then the chip aisle was really plenty with samples. Just kept sampling all the chips. I did that. Hit the nut aisle. There were some samples there.
Wow.
And then it's crazy. And then I circled back again. And of course, the whole time I'm thinking, oh, they'll never know I'm coming back for a second one. I'm sure no one ever does this. I'm sure they won't catch on.
Yeah.
And I went through the whole... I went through the whole sample thing again. It was tough times, Kate DeVore. And I didn't buy one thing, and I just left the store.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, because I was like, well, I'm full.
Wow.
Thank you. Welcome to another episode of You Won't Believe What I Ate Last Night. I am Rick Fiore.
And I'm Kate DeVore.
And this is our ongoing conversation about food, health, weight management, and our endeavor to be and stay healthy in a really tasty world.
With love, kindness, and compassion towards ourselves and others.
We are so excited about today's episode. We're excited to welcome to the podcast Vicki Shanta Retelny. Vicki is a nationally recognized lifestyle nutrition expert, culinary and media consultant. She is the author of 2 books, The Essential Guide to Healthy Healing Foods and Total Body Diet for Dummies. Her passion for translating nutrition science into usable, real-life messages combined with her culinary capabilities educates consumers on appreciating healthful ingredients and delicious flavors while creating tasty nutritional meals. With a particular interest in mindful eating, her byline has appeared in dozens of national publications and lots of TV shows. Vicki's blog and recipes and writings you can find at simplecravingsrealfood.com. Welcome to the podcast, Vicki.
Thank you for having me, Rick and Kate. I appreciate it.
So we know we could talk about a million things with you, but today our topic is actually fast food and how to eat healthier if we're actually going to indulge in fast food, if that's even possible. So, so the first question we always ask people is, what did you eat last night?
Great. Well, I get that question often, believe it or not. Counseling patients, or I'm just even chatting with people. Funny, last night was actually my birthday. So I was actually a little celebratory.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. But my children, I have 2 children, ages 11 and 9, and they actually like sushi. So we went out for sushi last night, which, some people would think is on the healthier side, but you do have to make wise choices when you go out for sushi, because there's a lot. Well, there's a lot of, you want to watch out for the fried things that are fried. Some of the rolls have fried fish in them. I tend to go for things that are less complex. So I will do salmon rolls, just plain salmon rolls, avocado rolls. So always go for things with a vegetable in it, avocado, cucumber. We do California rolls because they're basic. They've got crab, cucumber, they're always wrapped in seaweed. Seaweed is great for iodine. You're getting a lot of nutrients in the seaweed itself. So tend to go for things that are not doubly wrapped with white rice, because what does that do? Spikes your blood sugar right up there.
Yeah.
So last night was my sushi night. You know what I was going to say about fast food, always go smaller. If you want to indulge in fries or in something fried or a little more decadent, go on the smaller side. So I'll have a piece of the roll or two of the spider roll that's fried and enjoy it and savor it and eat it slowly. That's part of the mindful eating process. It's not that I'm not enjoying it or liking these foods that are a little higher in fat or calories, but if you eat smaller amounts, you really appreciate it more. So that
makes so much sense.
Yeah. So you describe yourself as a lifestyle nutritionist. Can you tell us what that means?
Yes. Well, my goal is to foster lasting lifestyle changes in people. So I don't want people to think that they have to do a quick fix diet, lose 5 to 10 pounds and done. It's an on off again kind of thing.
Damn. It's too bad.
So lifestyle is really what the goal is. You want to think about fostering permanent changes that are going to work over the course of your life. And obviously there's been a lot of research to say lifestyle does lead to less disease risk, less heart disease, diabetes. Weight management is so much more effective when you have a healthy lifestyle versus an on and off again type of mentality. So that's why I call myself a lifestyle nutritionist, because I want to really impart in people when I meet with them, it's about this change that's going to occur over the course of your life. And it's a constant practice. It's not just we're going to work together for 2 weeks and then you're done. It is really something that is a practice your whole life, that you're thinking about your choices you're making. Are you active? Are you getting enough sleep? Lifestyle is predicated on so many things. It's not just food.
That's great. So our topic today is about fast food. So let's start with the basic fundamental question. What's wrong with it? Why? What's so unhealthy about it? Why should we not eat at fast food every day, Vicki?
We're hard hitting here, Vicki.
Exactly. Well, we live in a fast food society. Food is everywhere. I often say we are seduced into eating even when we're not hungry.
And oh my God, totally.
Yeah, food is available. Food is on every street corner. So what you want to think about is the choices you make in fast food. Now, fast food's popular because it's convenient. People think it tastes good. It's cheaper. But at what cost? I often tell people, just because the food's cheaper, what is the healthcare cost going to result in? So many times it's the cost that you're paying long term that will affect you. So, short term, if you have 1 or 2 fast food meals a week, that is probably not going to harm your health as much as if you're eating it daily or for every meal. So you want to choose wisely when you're at fast food restaurants. They're typically higher in sodium, higher in sugar, higher in fat. So these meals do compromise your health in a big way. So that's why I do often talk to people about making those healthier choices when you're at a fast food restaurant.
Yeah. So just to follow up on that, you mentioned sodium and fat and all of that stuff. They have this trend now of putting the nutritional information a lot of times. So what should we look at in addition to calories? I think a lot of us just go to the bottom line of calories, but it seems like that might not always be the only thing to consider. So what else should we consider in making a choice in addition to calories?
Right. And it's the quality of calories that really count. So, if you got something that's 450 calories, what is in those calories? Is there fiber? Is there, other nutrients?
Protein.
Yeah.
Getting in the calories. So many times, yes, you want to look at calories, but you also want to understand how much fat are you eating? How much saturated fat is really in that product? If we're looking at a actual label, if something's over like 3 grams of saturated fat, it's starting to get high. For sodium, if something's over 500 milligrams per serving, that is getting high. So sodium obviously is going to affect blood pressure for some people who are salt sensitive. You're going to retain water, so you get bloated when you eat a lot of high sodium foods. And the other thing is you want to look at, are there trans fats, which many companies and fast food restaurants have taken those partially hydrogenated oils out of their foods because it is a heart disease risk. The other thing you want to think about is, are you getting adequate protein in that meal? You know, think about protein from that meal. So many times I'll say, you know, are you getting over 10 grams of protein or 15 grams in that meal? So it's important to look at some other things on the nutrients.
Yeah, so going with the ice cream because it's only 100 calories isn't necessarily a better choice, is what you're saying.
Those what I would consider empty calories. Those are empty calories, not to say that they don't have value in your pleasure and in your life, because that does have some value emotionally.
I can attest to that, Vicki.
We all can. But think about what a serving size of ice cream is. It's a half a cup. But if you really have that serving size, get a kitty cone versus a large cone and really eat it slowly, savor it, enjoy it. It's not to say there should be shame associated with it, but you want to get the smaller amount because as we get older, we don't need as much of those empty calories. You want to think about taking in the quality calories first.
Hey, did you know?
Hey, Kate, did you know that one fast food hamburger could contain meat from 100 different cows?
No, I didn't. But I do think about that. When I give thanks to the meat that I eat and it's ground, I often think this is probably multiple animals that have shown up for this, but I certainly didn't think it could be 100 in one. No, good heavens.
What trends are you noticing in fast food places offering healthier fares?
Oh, well, you know, the good news is I am noticing, what Kate had said is that they're putting a lot of nutrition facts. Most restaurants are offering, you know, calories and all the nutrition facts for the consumer. The other thing is portion size. You can get, you know, a snack wrap at McDonald's versus and a large wrap if you want. So you can get the smaller size, which has been all along. There's sizes that you can order, which if you choose wisely, you'll get the smaller one. The other thing to think about is they're offering more plant-based options. So more vegetable options, more salads, more beans in your bowls, more wraps that are just vegetarian-based. There's a lot more consumers that want vegetarian options. So I have noticed that, you know, you can get dressings on the side. You can have your toppings the way you want them. So that's nice. That is nice that the consumer has a little more control over that if they want it. You know, the key is, are you making that choice to add your own toppings or not to get the bacon on the wrap? That kind of thing.
Totally.
And I know, Rick, you're doing that, right?
I just got really sad about not getting the bacon on the wrap, but I do understand your point.
Vicki, I haven't eaten meat for like 20 years, and I still get sad when I think about bacon not being in anything. Kate and I have this conversation all the time. Oh, I really want some bacon.
Well, you know, bacon is one of those meats that people just love. It is one of those, although we have so much research to say it's not beneficial for you, it's one of those things that people just adore because it's savory, it's salty, it's got that fat.
I'm a big fan of the pig, I tell you, in all forms, but the bacon is just magic. So Chipotle has been trying to market itself for a long time as being the healthier fast food option, right? And they do at least claim, and I assume they're not lying, to use healthy, more naturally sourced ingredients. Do you know anything about that, and why does that matter?
Yes. Well, you know, not only Chipotle, there's been so many other fast food or casual dining restaurants that are offering these naturally, locally sourced kind of meals because, you know, it does denote minimally processed. You know, when you've got something that's natural on a label, it seems like it's healthier. It feels like it's more from the earth, from the natural source and less processed. So really, it's the messaging that they want to get across that they're, you know, not processing their food as much, that it's from the earth, it's from the actual farm itself. And that appeals to consumers because a lot more consumers are in that wellness space that they really want something that's closer to the earth and locally grown versus something that's been shipped from Zimbabwe here.
Yeah,
totally.
That's taking a toll on an environment and also on their health. So that's the thing. It's the messaging that people feel like it's just a healthier product overall.
So how do you stay healthy in a really tasty world?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. I've been practicing mindful eating, healthy eating, portion control for a long time. I've been doing this for probably close to 20 years now. And I feel like it's a constant struggle because we are constantly bombarded with scents of food, sights of food. We're at gourmet restaurants. You want to try the latest thing that's out there. So really what I've done is I do eat more plant-based meals during the day. So I will start the day with plant-based eating. So whether it's nut butter on my English muffin, or I'll, have, I do eat dairy. So I will have a yogurt, put my own fruit in it. So plain yogurt. So I try to go as plant-based as possible, more of a flexitarian approach where I'll add a little bit of meat in. Potentially at night, I'll usually have less of the carbohydrate, like the grains in the evening. I usually do that more during the day. So it's making wise choices. But I would say the biggest message for people is to eat more plant-based if you can, because there's been so much research on the Mediterranean diet, on these plant-based cultures that live longer. They just have longevity in their line only because they eat more vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, and beans that are higher fiber. I try to give myself quality calories before I have the empty calories.
Definitely.
Because you sort of displace those calories that aren't really the best for you with the better calories. So what I think about is, how can I give myself the fuel that I need and keep myself functioning well? And after a while, your taste buds change. You really do want the healthier foods. If you've ever been on vacation and you're going crazy and you're not eating as well, and you're thinking, gosh, I have not had vegetables, I have not had fruit. You start thinking, you're like, why?
No idea what you're talking about, Vicki.
No, Vicki. Not us.
You do start to crave healthier food.
Yeah, we learned that's called your hedonistic set point. And that's one of the things that happens with a cleanse, is that you reset your hedonistic set point so that watermelon suddenly becomes like the sweetest and most amazing thing in the world, and you don't crave the ice cream as much.
Absolutely. And that's a real thing. It is a real thing. It sort of excites your brain to have those healthier foods because your brain gets used to that way of eating. You're resetting those neural pathways.
I've certainly experienced that in both directions multiple times, I think. Yeah.
And there is that, and you've probably talked with other guests about this, there is that salt, sugar, fat kind of combination that many food manufacturers know is the sweet spot for setting your brain up to release dopamine. So we release these chemicals in our brain that actually crave these flavor sensations. And it's tough to overcome those. Once you've set up that chemical release in your brain and you want that, chocolate chip cookie over and over again, it's hard to modify the behavior. So that's where we get into more working on patterns of eating and also kind of the psychological piece that goes along with it.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And those bastards, they apparently put just not quite enough that you're satisfied, right? Like they purposefully know exactly how much would satisfy you of those things, and they put in just under so that you have to keep going back.
Keep going back, baby.
Absolutely. Oh, they want that, that addiction, that purchase. They want you to be excited about it.
And when you think about staying healthy in a tasty world, how do you do that with love, kindness, compassion towards yourself and others?
Oh, that's a great question. That is a great question. Because there's so much that you can shame yourself about. There's so much you can say, I ate that Big Mac, I'm not a good person now, and go more overboard.
Welcome to my college years. Yeah.
Keep going. So what I do tell, myself and many people that I counsel, and even in my writings, is that you really do need to practice compassion with food. So if you do have a treat, say you love chocolate chip cookies, or you could tell that's one that I love, or you love fried chicken, have a small amount, enjoy it, plan it into your day, savor it, and then move on and make the choice to have vegetables and fruits at the next meal or even with that meal so that you're enjoying it in balance. And there's nothing wrong with savoring good food that's rich and flavorful and cooked with love. Think about where that food comes from and why you really crave it. You know what I mean? Don't be so hard on yourself.
And what's your opinion on if people treat themselves kinder? How does that affect other people in their life? Do you have an opinion on that? Have you seen anything on that? Like how it sort of ripples out?
Yes, and it does. It does. The relationship you have with yourself and with food is really manifested in how you treat other people, how you want them to treat you. So there is a huge ripple effect with that, Rick, that you do actually spread that feeling when you're with friends and family and colleagues. You will actually show them how it means to take care of yourself well. Because, when you feed yourself well, it really is a reflection of how much you love yourself and how much you want to create wellness in your own life. So it's what you're putting in your body that's a reflection of how you feel. When you don't feel great, what are you reaching for? Things that may not be the most beneficial for you. When you feel great and you're moving along well and there's a lot of compassion for yourself and love, you want to eat better. You just feel like that you want to give yourself good fuel. So it's getting to that place of the relationship with food that does spread and kind of ripple throughout your environment. So you set an example for other people. You are the example for your family, your friends, whoever you're communicating with, that this is really a good thing. This is not deprivation. It's not that I am not having my favorite foods. You're not wearing it on your sleeve. You're saying, you know what, I'm enjoying this kale salad and I love the nuts in it. And look at all the colors and look at the variety on my plate. You're actually enjoying eating healthfully. And it's really reflective of how you talk to yourself and other people.
Oh, that's
lovely.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, Vicki.
The bottom line is if we could all do this in our lives continually, it would be great. But, there are stop-start points. So don't shame yourself or blame yourself if there are points in your life where you're not feeling like you're on that track. Get on at the next opportunity. It doesn't have to be start again on Monday. It's start again at the next meal. Just make a choice that's going to give your body better fuel.
What do you think of that reaction that people have when they say, let's say it's Thursday and they've just had a really terrible week eating. They're like, I'm going to start on Monday. Why it's never like, I'm going to start now. I'm going to start tomorrow. What do you think that gap is about?
Oh my gosh. Well, they want to indulge for the next 4 days. They'd like to keep the party going. And, that's when I do get a visceral reaction, like, oh, put the brakes on. You can think of this in a different mindset. I talk about getting to that mindful mindset and wellness mindset as well, where you get right back on that horse at the next meal or even the next day. Say to yourself, you know what? Tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to erase that slate and get back on track with my healthier eating. And that's why many people do come to a registered dietitian for support and counsel and really guidance through this process. This is not, first of all, it's not a one size fits all. It's different for everybody. And secondly, it takes support. It takes somebody helping guide you through it, but also creating accountability in your life because I often tell people, I am not here to tell you what to eat. You're going to be accountable to me for a bit, but then you're going to go off on your own and fly like a bird with this. This is going to be your life that you're taking in a more healthful direction.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
To wrap up the fast food segment of this, you might have already answered this, but I just want to see if there's any other pearls of wisdom in there of how we can eat in a fast food place and do the least damage.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. It depends on the fast food place. But what I would say is, there's many fried options. So go for the baked or grilled option. If you're going to do the fried, chicken sandwich, go for the baked one or the grilled one. Or you can say with fish, notoriously, these fish sandwiches, people think they're healthy because they're fish. They're fried. You know what I mean? Get the baked option. go for the less bread. Get the pita or the wrap versus the big bun, because that's just more usually white flour products and they're higher calorie. So get the whole grain wrap.
And they're not even any good, really. So it's not even like it's delicious white bread.
Exactly. So think about that. It's, you're not really adding any benefit, but also it doesn't taste as good either. Get the wraps, add more vegetables to things. So if you can get the salad or add lettuce, tomato to your burger, get a smaller burger. So once again, sizing, but also add the vegetables. I often tell people you can be at a fast food, but also like a casual dining place. Add a side salad to it. Add more vegetables when you can. Add fruit, like even kids' meals. Get the sliced apples. Get the baby carrots. Have the cut of peppers if they have that available. So adding the fiber and the nutrients from the vegetables and fruits is great. Plus, it's going to be more hydrating. Many people forget you get a lot of hydration from fruits and vegetables. So and think about that. Really nix the sodas if you can. Nix those regular sodas, even the diet. The diet's not really the best either.
It's terrible.
Get water. Have water. I'm constantly reminding my children too. Get the water with the meal. You don't need those extra sugar calories that you're getting from soda or colas or beverages like that are sweetened.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Are you able to talk a little bit about maybe the short-term addictive response and chemical rushes we get when we take that first bite of fast food? Like, I'm always fascinated. The minute it hits my tongue, I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's real. And that's something called taste-specific satiety. I don't know if you've heard that term. When the first couple of bites of a food that's high in salt or sugar or fat or the combination really hits the tongue, it hits those taste receptors and it ignites, dopamine responses like we just talked about, the chemical receptors in your brain, serotonin levels shoot up, those feel-good neurotransmitters actually shoot up and make you feel good. They comfort you. They bathe your brain, in this comfort. So what it is the more bites you take, actually that taste-specific satiety goes away. So it's like the 3 or 4 bites, and then you're sort of left with, oh, I want that flavor again. I want that taste again. So this is why people do overeat. They might eat, half a dozen donuts or 12 cookies wanting that taste back again. But, taste receptors dull over time. So once you've had that initial 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 bites, that taste-specific satiety goes away and you don't get that same response. So that's really why we become addicted to those flavors, because they make you feel good initially, but it does wear off as you eat that food. So that's why I do tell people that's a big calorie load to be taking at one time. Have a small cookie, have a little tea with it, eat it slowly, but really savor that taste that you get initially, because it's not going to be there forever.
It's amazing how much it's like a drug, isn't it? We did an episode last year about addictive elements of food, which is why I know about the hedonistic set point and all of that stuff. And what you're describing, we talked about in there too, and I'd forgotten about it. But it sounds like heroin, what you're saying. It's first one's free because that's all it takes.
Well, and it is the same chemical pathway. It's that reward center in your brain.
Did you know?
Hey, Rick, did you know that capsaicin, which is the thing that makes hot peppers hot to the mouth, is best neutralized by casein, which is the main protein found in milk?
No.
Yeah, so if you're out and if you're out and you eat something really, really hot and you want to try to cool down your mouth, water doesn't help, salt doesn't help, it's milk that will help cool it down better than anything else.
Good to know. Get me to an udder. Did you ever have any issues with weight?
I did. Yes. As a child, I was overweight. And that's probably what spurred my interest in nutrition. Not so much weight management, but I did think about what I was putting in my body probably from the age of 8 or 9 years old. I thought about that diet mentality, which is so unhealthy. You don't want to foster that in kids at all. You want to not really talk about diet with kids, but enjoying their food, savoring smaller amounts, not eating mindlessly, because many times they'll want to eat on the computer, they'll want to eat while watching TV, not doing those behaviors. So as a young child, yes, I had to educate myself. And at that time, it wasn't really out there that we need to be eating mindfully. So I'm the youngest of 3 children, and I was the one with the weight issue. So I think that's why I went into this field, to kind of help young adults, help children, help older adults realize that you can always make changes in your eating. It doesn't have to be deprivation. It just has to be more mindful. And that's really what got me out of feeling like I needed to be so perfect with everything I ate, because there is a disordered eating called orthorexia. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that is an obsession with eating healthfully.
We just talked about that yesterday in a recording that we did for something else. That's so funny. Yes.
Yeah, well, that to me is fascinating, because I think I'm a recovering orthorexic. I often thought about, oh my gosh, I've got to eat so healthfully. But you know what? That does not work in the long term. You have to have flexibility with your eating, where you come to a place where I can enjoy a cookie, I can have a cupcake with my kids, I can go to a fast food place and make healthy choices. That is empowering.
So what is one of the best tips you've ever received about health, nutrition, wellness?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think one of the best things, and I use it in my own practice, and I can't recall who coined this or told me about this, it's the 80-20 rule. 80%. You are really thinking about, getting nutrient-dense foods in. You're thinking about the quality of the calories on your plate. But the other 20%, you are, having a little extra. You're having cookies. You're having an extra glass of wine, maybe. You're having a, indulgent dessert. So the thing is, it's not 100%. You're not perfect all the time. You're allowing that flexibility in. So it's that 80-20 rule that I follow in my own life. And I think that it does help my clients. It helps just the regular consumer figure out that they don't have to be 100% perfect with their eating at all times. That's
a great tip. That just allows me to blame everything on my mathematics teachers in high school, because I was never very good at it. And that's why I am the way I am today.
I think the balance is so key, Rick. It's just really.
Totally. Yeah. And what are the 5 things that are always on your grocery list?
Oh, I love getting this question, because for me, grocery shopping is fun. Grocery shopping is something that I enjoy doing, and I really do help people grocery shop a lot. So often the 5 things that I have on my list, I always have nuts in my house of some form. So whether it's pistachios or almonds or walnuts, they're so beneficial for heart health, and for those good fats that really do keep your cells functioning well. Plus, they're a good source of protein. So I do have nuts. Leafy greens. I always make a salad. In the afternoon, I'm tossing leafy greens into things, putting it in a wrap, making a salad, making a sandwich with leafy greens. Avocado is another one. I don't know if you like avocado, Rick and Kate, but avocado's got that beneficial fat once again. It's filling. It actually adds savoriness and a satisfaction to the palate when you eat some fat. So avocado. Fish is another really good one. So I will buy salmon, wild salmon in pouches. You can get Chicken of the Sea or Starkist has fish in pouches. So that will satisfy, even my kids will eat fish like that.
Oh, wow. Nice.
You can also do frozen fish as well. Many people ask me, can I eat frozen fish? Because there's a lot of phobias with cooking fish. Like people like, wait, how do I prepare fish? What do I do?
Yeah.
So we'll buy frozen wild salmon. Maury's, there's a great brand called Maury's that I love. And so fish is another one that I really think twice a week you should be getting some fish in, at least 8 to 12 ounces per week for heart health. The other thing is whole grains. What about getting whole grain breads, whole grain pastas, even brown rice versus white rice, quinoa? I can't speak highly enough about whole grains. So many times I will recommend that people do measure their grains out once they're cooked. So the problem is we tend to before it's cooked, and it's way too big of a portion at that one serving at one time.
Interesting.
Measure it once it's cooked. Okay. So it's a half a cup cooked as a serving, but doesn't mean you can't have a full cup. You just have to think about how much is on your plate, because then once you're at that restaurant dining out, you can actually visualize how much rice did they put on the plate? How much pasta? Do I really need that much at one serving? Or can I take half home for tomorrow?
Oh, I get that. Yeah.
Those are kind of the 5 things that I sort of think about when I'm grocery shopping. There's so many other things, but I typically tend to tell people, use the perimeter of the store first. Think about the produce, your meats. If you do eat dairy, think about going around the perimeter to choose your foods, because those are typically less processed.
Vicki, this has been so awesome. Thank you so much. I personally have learned quite a bit, although I'm a little bit sad.
Terrific. Helpful.
So
Happy.
I'm working on it. So how can people find you?
A little bit.
Sure. Yes. You know what? I always recommend that people look at my blog, because it's got my recipes, my writings. I love to offer people lifestyle tips. So my blog is simplecravingsrealfood.com.
We'll have that on our website also.
Thank you so much. And that's probably the best way to reach me. And, it will link to my email as well. So I do a weekly newsletter, which you can link onto that and sign up for that newsletter on my blog. So I would appreciate that. I'd love it. My Instagram, my Twitter account are VSR. So my initials, VSR Nutrition. So you can find me on Twitter or Instagram, VSR Nutrition. The other thing is on Facebook. I do post a lot on Facebook, and it's just my full name, Victoria Shanta Retelny, RDN.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to everyone out there for, as always, listening. You can find more about Vicki and us at our website, youwon'tbelievewhatIate.com. And remember, if you have any questions or thoughts, and in particular, tell us what you ate last night. And if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, send us an audio recording right from your phone. You can send that to our email at youwon'tbelievewhatIate@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at You Won't Believe What I Ate. Thank you so much for listening.
All
Thanks,
right.
Vicki.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much, Vicki.
Thanks for having me.